So I am down here by the bog, and I've been collecting Japanese beetles, and they have found my elderberry. I see quite a few Japanese beetles over there mating, and it's pretty hard to collect them today because it is windy. I'm over here by my Jerusalem artichoke patch, and they're looking pretty good. They're pretty tall. They're a good foot or better above my head. But the Japanese beetles will land on the Jerusalem artichoke leaves, the stalk, the plant, but they don't eat it. They just kind of sit there and rest. So I find quite a few Japanese beetles on here, but they're not eating it. So that's pretty good. It's pretty thick in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. But the Jerusalem artichokes are looking fantastic this year. Got a Queen Anne's lace. That is over 6 foot tall right there. So I waited for a calmer day before I finished my video on Jerusalem artichokes. Now it is early in the morning. The sun is coming up over the bog, and I'm down to my Jerusalem artichoke patch. If you're in the mindset to plant food for tomorrow, that's what I like to call it. Food for the future. If times ever got hard, then you want something already established before those hard times got here. Now, Jerusalem artichokes, I've grown them for years. And the reason I like them is because not only are they pretty, but they're a nice food source. It's great for diabetics. Any of you that want a potato substitute, Jerusalem artichokes is probably one of your better choices. And I was always told that it'll grow in any soil. Plant it and forget it, and it'll maintain on its own. So I did an experiment for the last several years where I did have a long row here, and I split it down the middle, and I kept amending bog grass. It's tickling my arm. So I split it down the middle. I fertilized, took care of, maintained one half, and for several years I let the other half do what it wanted. The patch that I maintained did absolutely fantastic. It not only looked better, it grew better, it had more tubers, it had bigger tubers. The plants just looked more vibrant. And on the other end, where I just left it to its own devices to do what it wanted, the plants didn't look good. They were spindly, they were short, they were pale in color, and the tubers were far and few between and small, right? There was a few big ones, but not many. I maintained that last fall. I amended the soil, and it's coming out of it. It's still behind this half over here, but it's a whole lot better than it was last year because I started maintaining it. Even though Jerusalem artichokes will grow in a variety of soils under a variety of conditions, they really do thank you for giving them some nutrients. So here for the nutrients is compost. So I've always composted this section here, and every fall when I harvest for a meal, I prefer mine raw. For the first time ever in growing Jerusalem artichokes, I cook some up, I boil them, and I did not care for them boiled. I didn't care for them boiled at all. I prefer mine raw, And if the ground isn't frozen, you can come out here and you can collect them all winter long if you can dig into the ground. If you want to plant food for tomorrow, another day, it's good to start that. It's good to start those crops before you need them, right? Because I plant these, when I first planted these here in this spot, which is close to the house. So I took tubers, I planted the Jerusalem artichoke themselves, the bulb, the rhizome, whatever you want to call it, 4 inches deep, a foot apart, in like a grid pattern. And when I harvest them in the fall, I pull the plant up, collect what I want, and then I thin out the rest, and I establish new areas where I grow Jerusalem artichokes. The first year that you plant Jerusalem artichokes, the very first year, you really should allow them to go that first year. You can probably pull up 1 or 2 or a handful or whatnot, depends on how big your patch is. But you won't get any quantity the first year, but the second year you will. That's just my experience here. So these are doing nicely. Some of them are pretty tall. They'll get a whole lot taller. They'll probably get 2 or 3 feet taller, and they blossom late summer, early fall. And I'll bring you back for another video when it's time to harvest some of these. Eating them raw, you can eat them with the skin out. They have a real fine skin, and they're kind of knobby. The bulb itself, the root, the rhizome, the tuber, I call them tubers. The tubers are knobby, about like a ginger is knobby. Peel the tuber, because the tuber tends to be a little bit bitter, in my opinion. So I peel it, and then I just eat it like you would an apple. After the first hard frost, about 2 weeks later, is when I start really enjoying my artichoke tubers. All that energy, all the nutrients come from the plant, and they go into the tuber, and it has a very nutty, sweet taste to it. It's crispy like a water chestnut. They'll stay that way until spring. So you can dig them up in the spring, and they'll be even sweeter than 2 weeks after the frost in the fall. They're very palatable, and I rather enjoy them. You can plant them, throw some compost, even if you want chemical fertilizer, throw your chemical fertilizer around them every once in a while to help maintain their potential. And then if times get hard for whatever reason, whether it's a personal hardship or an economical hardship in your area, you've got Jerusalem artichoke that you can eat. Now, they are part of the sunflower family, so the blossoms will have a nice, like a miniature sunflower blossom on top. So I really enjoy my Jerusalem artichokes. I know quite a few of you, when I did my short series on Jerusalem artichokes last fall, throughout the summer and fall, purchased some Jerusalem artichokes in your area or ordered them through the mail and planted them. So in my opinion, I think that's wise. There are a lot of crops here that I establish and maintain. I nibble on them. I enjoy a handful or 2 of them. I give a bunch away every fall when I dig them up.